Securing the ever-elusive college-age vote is and always has been a key demographic in presidential elections. There are a few places in the nation where college voters hold more power than they do in New Hampshire. In an already close swing state, New Hampshire's 34,000 college students have a big say in the outcome of the election. In recent years, their right to vote has become a point of controversy, and Paul and I are going to explain why it matters to college students like us. I'm Casey Eldred, joined with my classmate Paul Lambert, and we'll be breaking down the controversy over college student voters in New Hampshire and why you should turn out to vote.
You've got less than 2 months until the presidential election, Casey, and New Hampshire is once again shaping up to be a tightly contested state, just like in 2016, when it was the closest state in the U.S. in terms of votes and second closest by percentage points. Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by only 2,800 votes to win the state. And in the U.S. Senate election, Democrat and former Governor Maggie Hassan nipped Republican Kelly Ayotte by around 1,000 votes. With all those college students you mentioned, Casey, getting their vote is huge in terms of getting that edge to put you over the top.
Absolutely, and the important thing is that there's a lot of controversy surrounding specifically out-of-state students' right to vote in New Hampshire. The college vote has essentially turned into a partisan battle in the New Hampshire legislature as a reaction to those close elections that you were just talking about. There are two New Hampshire state bills college students should be keeping an eye on, and that's House Bill 1264 and Senate Bill 3.
The battle between New Hampshire Republicans and Democrats on both of those bills has been fierce. How the high courts rule on them could have major implications on who gets to vote in the Granite State in November.
We talked to Adam Sexton, political director at WMUR-TV, about the campus vote in New Hampshire. He broke down the partisan battle going on between these bills, and he provided a backstory to the controversy.
I think those terms, voter fraud and voter suppression, they're kind of like the go-to weapons that both partisan sides will go to pick up as they go to do battle. But if you look at in terms of actual voter fraud, the recorded cases, very rarely, if at all, is it a campus person, a student, that is committing voter fraud.
Adam also explained that this issue didn't begin in 2016 or with the creation of HB 1264 or SB 3. It's a battle that's been going on for decades.
As that Democratic base started to grow, particularly in the era of the late 1960s and early 70s with opposition to the Vietnam War, you started to see more friction on college campuses and in campus towns in New Hampshire. Town clerks and campus activists. There was some issues sometimes in terms of being able to register to vote. So it's been a debate that's gone back a long time, and the current version that we're in right now is obviously one that's getting a lot of attention, both in the legislature and now more so in the courts with the laws that have already passed.
Adam also talked about how pivotal the college vote really is in New Hampshire thanks to high student participation rates. Much of that is thanks to the college voter outreach programs universities across the state have set up to increase turnout.
That campus vote provide really crucial votes that can swing a race in any direction. You look at the one in 2016 between Maggie Hassan and Kelly Ayotte. A lot of people point to that as an example of the power of the campus vote. But without some key voting blocks on campuses like UNH and Dartmouth, Franklin Pierce, Keene State, that it would have been harder for a Senator Hassan to be Senator Hassan. Particularly this year with the COVID-19 pandemic, we were very curious what the campus turnout would look like. Is it going to be diminished in some way? Will we see, students a little more hesitant to get out and vote in that state primary? And really the numbers were, off the charts.
In fact, campus programs across New Hampshire to get out the vote have been more successful than the legislative attempts to discourage them away from voting.
We heard a lot about voter suppression in the presidential primary in particular. Well, they want to suppress votes. This is voter suppression. And yet we see turnout going up and up. So it has kind of the opposite effect, right? If in fact, these things really are voter suppression, it would be stopping people from voting. And, again, the motivation behind some of these pieces of legislation can certainly be debated, but the outcome is one that is fact, and that participation in voting on campus seems to be as active as it's ever been here in New Hampshire.
Regardless of political beliefs, Adam made it clear that both Democrats and Republicans realize how crucial college voters are in New Hampshire.
No matter what side you're on, Republican or Democrat, the bottom line is that the campus vote is crucial in New Hampshire. It decides elections. especially close elections. And that's why it's such a passionate fight here in Concord under the Golden Dome.
I think that the laws are, as Adam said, a matter of enforcement, and I don't think it's a coincidence that college students tend to vote liberally and Republicans pass these bills. I think that, like Adam said, there's evidence that participation is up, but these bills are an attempt to suppress the college students from voting. But the evidence suggests that it just didn't work.
I'm with you, Casey. I think both of us were interested to see how these two bills would affect the college vote in the 2020 primary, and Adam mentioned that turnout was off the charts. Even if this is an attempt to suppress the college vote in New Hampshire, it's not working well. Adam mentioned that for both the Democratic primary in February and the state primary, turnout went up.
It's also crucial to note that elections in New Hampshire, especially in the past few cycles, have been very close, and now more than ever, every vote counts. During our conversation with Adam, he cited the same Senate race between Maggie Hassan and Kelly Ayotte we discussed in the beginning of this podcast, to show how impactful the college vote can be. For me, the attempt to block the campus vote from Republicans and organize efforts to bring out college voters both show how close everyone thinks this presidential election is going to be.
Absolutely. Going off of what we said earlier, New Hampshire was decided by fewer votes in the 2016 presidential election than any other state. You've got to wonder if Donald Trump and Kelly Ayotte are your winners in New Hampshire in 2016 if college students don't turn out so strongly in favor of Democrats. And I think that, regardless of your stance politically, getting our voter turnout up is something we should all strive for. When people are doing their research before going to vote, they make more informed decisions when they go to the ballot box. When we make better decisions, our country is better off for that.
Whether you register to vote in New Hampshire or your home state, your vote matters. Thanks for listening, and again, a special thanks to Adam Sexton of WMUR TV. From Franklin Pierce University at the Marlin Fitzwater Center for Communication, this is Casey Eldred and Paul Lambert. Stay safe and don't forget to vote.